All right, guys, in this video, I want to talk about the two most important pieces of equipment you need and that most drivers do not take care of while they're on the road to make money. All right, let's get into it.
Your hustle got to be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.
The two pieces of equipment you need that are most important to your success and your ability to earn money on the road. If you haven't guessed it already, I don't know, maybe some of you have. If not, here they are. Your phone and the van. Oh my God, who would have ever thunk it? And the reason I'm bringing it up is because too many do not want to take care of either. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the phone first. This is a phone, okay? Everybody knows what a phone is. So you need that phone in order to get contacted by dispatch, the broker, whoever you're getting your freight from. And I've seen it too many times out of my time out here that people do not put enough emphasis on being able to answer and reply on their phone as needed. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had a couple issues before. I've been in say in the restroom or taking a shower or whatever, been in a bad service and they've tried to contact me and I can't get through. Those things are understandable. What's not understandable is when it happens, when it's a reoccurring issue. When dispatch calls and you don't answer and they've called again and again and you're not able to get back in a very quick amount of time, that's uncalled for. That is absolutely, in my mind, that is absolutely inexcusable. If I'm in service and I know that this phone is the key to my ability to earn money, like, I'm constantly in my phone. Like, if I'm not talking on it or actually, at the moment using it, I'm constantly lighting it up, looking to see if I have a text message, any kind of push notification. I have my ringer constantly turned all the way up. When I have set my alarm, I set my alarm all the way up volume. I set my phone in an area where I sleep, because where I sleep, and I've had the issue. This is all through experience too. Like, I have missed a call before because at the beginning on my bunk, I would lay my phone down on the floor and then I'd have my loud ass fan on and I wouldn't hear a call. So I got to where I'm laying my phone with the speaker end facing me at head level, right there at head level. And I picked the loudest, whatever type of tone that you may need that is most annoying, that's going to wake you up, that's what you need to put. I used to have one that was like a nuclear alarm. Now I just have the old school ringtone. That's the best for me because it's super loud and it's going to wake me up every time if I'm asleep. Too many times, especially when you're waiting for a load, when you are waiting for a load, I do not understand how a driver isn't paying attention to their phone. That is just, while you're en route, and everything is kind of going copacetic, tracking was working, you're all good to go, you're given the good to go to take off, I can understand getting a little lackadaisical, and obviously you're going to stop and get gas, use the restroom, or doing something, whatever, and it may take you 5 to 10 minutes to return a call. It's because obviously at that moment you're not concerning it's not concerning a load. It's probably some kind of update or some kind of information that needs to be shared, and it's not as important. But when you're in service waiting for a load and dispatch can't get a hold of you, that is stupid. That is absolutely insane. And I've seen it happen way too many times. Way too many times. Now, there's been people that have gone out and because their phone service is crappy, they went out and got another phone, like a pay-by-month phone, in another service, so that they have two different services, so that when they get in an area that they have poor service, this other phone is usually pretty good, which is a good idea. That's being done by a lot of people. Some people just ultimately upgrade their one phone, their main phone, to one of the more quality service providers. And in my experience, Verizon and AT&T have been the most reliable. If anybody wants to comment below and, you know, begs to differ or, you know, has another opinion, please put it down there below. Because I haven't had any issues with my provider. I mean, obviously there's some spots that they're bad at or whatever, but overall, I've been extremely happy with Verizon. The only problem I've had with Verizon is just that they're extremely pricey. Aside from that, the service has been very quality. Getting a backup phone is a good idea. If you have poor service and you're like you pay monthly with your phone and you have, you know, you basically have a, I won't say cheaper, but yeah, you're going with a more inexpensive provider, especially for those of you that are looking to come out here. If you guys are working with, like, say, a Metro PCS or something that's local, and you might be thinking, well, my phone works, I never have any problems with my phone, and, you know, that's true locally. There's a difference in being local and having good phone service as opposed to when you go over the road. Because when you're going over the road, like, your phone is constantly jumping towers, and service providers, you know, switch from area to area. So you need to be mindful of that for anybody that's looking to get into this. If you have one of those local phone providers, you need to look into that and kind of upgrade it if you can, or get yourself a backup one, whatever you need to do, but you need to have that taken care of. And having a smartphone is very important, because nowadays everything is through apps, your cam scan and stuff, as far as like scanning your paperwork and sending it in. You're needing apps to be tracked, you know, your maps, your just all those things. It's all those things are important to have, and having a smartphone is very important, you know, unless you, now if you have an iPad or a tablet or something that you have and you want to use a flip phone, I guess that can work too, but just you want to have the ability to have access to those apps and tracking devices, or apps, and so on and so forth. Now, looking at this from a dispatcher's point of view, which I've had, when I call a driver and that driver doesn't answer, and I'm trying to get information about, well, are you willing to do this? Are you rested enough to do this? You know, how do you feel about this load? Hey, I'm bidding this, you know, you might want to start heading this way, or whatever it may be, and I can't get through, and I'm trying multiple times, and I'm messaging and everything, and there's no reply, that is extremely infuriating. Now, I've also had it happen to where I called a driver. Last I heard, driver was in service, all that good stuff. Booked a driver a load, calling a driver, over and over and over. Driver doesn't answer. Have to give the load back. You know how frustrating and disappointing and embarrassing that is? Like, that's bullshit. So the phone is just so important, man, on so many levels when you want to make money. Those people that just want to, like, dismiss their phone and, I don't really care about it. You need to care about your phone. If you're one of those people that say, I ain't going to pay attention, don't even bother then. You ain't going to do shit. Like, people are going to get frustrated with you, because what happens is when you constantly have an issue with the driver communicating and you can't get a hold of them, that driver is not going to be booked. It's not going to be a priority to book that driver if you're constantly having problems communicating and getting in touch with this driver. You're not going to be willing to book them on something tight or something that they need, you know, quality communication. So understand. So the second part is your van. The van doesn't get taken care of near as much as it should by fleet drivers, owner operators. Like, it's always boggled my mind how people drive a van and just drive it mindlessly. They don't pay attention to driving it. They ding it up. And I'm not trying to single anybody out here. It's just this is what I see on a regular basis throughout my time out here. How many times have any of you that are out here have seen a van just beat to shit? Filthy as hell in the back area. They're just pieces of molding damaged and gone. Fuel doors gone on these vans. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, I understand certain things happen and then fix it. And I guess that's the other part of it, is that people that don't want to truly fix their stuff. I understand some people have the mindset that it's just a work vehicle. I don't look at it that way. I mean, yes, it's my work vehicle, but for those of us that are over the road and spend time in our vans, this is my home, dude. Like, this is partially my home. This is my apartment away from home when I'm on the road. So I want it as clean as I can get it. I want it running properly. If something gets damaged on it, I want to get it fixed. And I've had this van for 3 years now. Just about 3 years. I think June is actually 3 years. June or July. I've got, as you've seen, almost 409,000 miles on it. And you can walk around this van. I found one ding on the front quarter panel, and I don't know if it's from a rock, somebody opened their door on my stuff. But aside from that, I mean, you get the stuff from road debris, you know, chip and paint, things like that. But, like, that's it. That's all I have going on with it. Because I care about my vehicle. I know how important this vehicle is to me for earning money and for my comfort on the road. So I take care of it. Like, oil changes. Get your oil change done on a regular basis. You know, when you're driving the vehicle, don't hammer on the accelerator. Don't ride the brakes. If you're loaded a little on the heavy side, don't take them off ramps or any kind of corners, you know, really hard. Don't take them fast, you know, because when you're taking them fast, it's putting a lot of pressure on one side, which could cause you a blowout, which could cause you to crack a spring. You know, it could cause anything. You know, watch the road. Quit being all up in your phone and watch the road for potholes and things like that. That shit can cause your ball joints and bearings to go bad. You know, skew your alignment, which ends up wearing your tires bad, and then you have to go through tires quicker. Get your alignment, get your oil changed, get everything checked on a regular basis. Like, I just don't get it, man. I really don't get how people are out here, because if you're in service, like, you're obviously wanting to make money, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I'm doing something, you know, different from everybody else. Maybe I think differently than everybody else, but when I'm in service, I'm out here to make money. And, you know, a topic for another video is just everything that I do as far as being in service. But right now we're just talking about the two most important pieces of equipment, your phone and your van. Take care of those things. There's nothing wrong with it, man. Taking pride. Like, if you're a fleet driver, you drive for a fleet owner, whether you pay for gas or not, act like that van is yours. Because if you eventually want to get your own and you're practicing poor driving habits and poor maintenance and poor having poor pride in your equipment, that's what you're going to do when you get your own shit, and your shit's going to break down, and you're going to be one of those ones bitching about how they're broke, and you're going to be bitching about, you know, the carrier didn't take care of you, whatever. You're going to be in a bad situation. You know, when I drove for a fleet owner, that first van I got into, and I've repeated this, I've said this in videos before, so for those of you that this is repetitive to you, I'm sorry, but for those of you that watching my channel for the first time, if you've never come across videos where I talked about it, but I drove for a fleet owner to begin with, and it was a shitty Chevy Express van, I believe. I can't remember if it was a Chevy Express or a Ford. I believe it was a Chevy Express was the first one. It wasn't even an extended van. It had no power windows, no cruise control. The air conditioning didn't work on it. And when I got the van handed to me from another driver, half the lights on the dash were out. The headlight was out, I believe. A turn signal bulb was out. The tires had flat spots on it. It was just shit. And you know what I did? Like, I don't want to drive something that shitty. I'm not going to just drive, because there's a lot of people that just drive and they don't pay attention to things, and they just, unless that van quits running or just runs so rough that they can't help but notice it, they don't care. They just don't care. Me, I'm the type, like, and some of you that are like me will understand where I'm coming from. When I drive this van, I can tell if there's a different noise. I can tell if there's a different feel. Like, you notice these things. Like, I'm constantly, when I'm driving, I'm constantly looking at my dash, looking for a light, you know. Now, I only have, you know, the one gauge as far as my coolant, and I'm constantly watching that. But on some of those, like the first van I had, there's the battery light, or the battery gauge, the coolant, there was the oil pressure. Constantly watching those, constantly, because those things are vital to that van running. And so I took it upon myself. Like, The fleet owner was just a shit fleet owner. He wasn't willing to go pay the money to take the van to a shop and get the AC fixed or do the lights. I did it. I pulled the dash out, replaced the lights there. You know, took it to a place to get the tires rotated and checked out and everything. The air conditioning, I took it upon myself to troubleshoot and figure out the air conditioning, and I fixed the air conditioning. Like, I want to be comfortable with what I'm driving. I want to feel good about what I'm driving. Even though that thing was a piece of shit to look at, I still tried to fix it up as best I could to feel that it was as good as I could get it to go. And that's just important to me. Like I said, I drove that thing like I drive my own vehicle, because it is my vehicle while I'm in it. Like, he has, yes, it's his, and as far as, like, he's responsible for things, but I drove it like it was mine because I want to be able to earn money. I cannot earn money not taking care of my vehicle. So, as I said, take care of your phone, take care of your van, pay attention to both. They're vitally important to your ability to earn out here. Those are two main pieces of equipment you need to make money. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Give me some comments, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you like the type of content I'm putting out. That way you can get notified when they come up, when I put out a new video. Other than that, man, I'm done wasting your time today. I'll holler at you later.
Your hustle got to be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.